they grow too fast and they basically go bankrupt.
What mistakes do you see most often with startups, and how can you avoid them? So if we talk about all of these successes, sometimes business is great, and it, hopefully most of the time is, but there's certainly these pitfalls and these mistakes early on. And how do we avoid those mistakes to give ourselves a better chance at success?
The biggest mistake, and it's perennial and perpetual, is when they do estimates for revenue, they're way too optimistic. Because in business, poo-poo happens, particularly between the 1 and 5 million range. It's so erratic, so volatile. You have got to keep an eye on the free cash flow. And you have to have contingencies, assuming that big order doesn't come in. Because sometimes you have one customer that's more than 20% of your business, and they just, for whatever reason, don't deliver. And I see this all the time. They're constantly running out of cash because they can't manage their cash, and they're way too optimistic. They grow too fast and they basically go bankrupt. And this happens a lot. I've got lots of consumer goods and services companies that sell to big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And it's great to get into those places, but you can't serve 2,200 stores when you're a $5 million business. And you shouldn't try. Because I'm dealing with one of these things right now. They agreed to go a full rollout into Walmart. That is sheer stupidity, because the amount of capital tied up in inventory is going to bankrupt them. And Walmart, they're not unfair. They'll pay in 30 or 60, whatever terms that you're negotiating. But not every store implements the location, the planogram, the same as the other. There's all kinds of mess ups and stuff like that. You got to grow at the pace of which you can afford. So the right strategy for a Walmart or Target is 200 stores to start. Find out what the sell-through is. And if they're going to take your top 3 products out of 7 or something, find out which flavor sells the most. Then maybe roll that one out to another 400 stores. Grow it slow. Grow it slow because you're caring about the cash flow, the actual cash, the lifeblood of Wednesday payroll. That's what you have to keep an eye on. People trust you as the leader of the business to make sure they get paid. That's the whole deal. You can't go and tell your employees who don't own any equity in your business, listen, I'm a little light this week, you're not going to get paid. That is how you can destroy morale.